The greatest mistake most people make is chasing after the shadow of wealth rather than becoming the substance of it. You see, money is not something outside of you to be pursued like a desperate wanderer chasing mirages in the desert. Money is a reflection of the state within, a silent echo of your self-concept, your assumptions, your inner conversations. If you desire wealth, stop searching for it as if it is hiding beyond the hills. Instead, assume the identity of the wealthy one now. Become the money, not in coins, not in bills, but in vibration, in consciousness, in belief. You cannot possess outwardly what you have not first embodied inwardly. It is an immutable law of this reality that your outer world bends not to your efforts alone, but to your assumption of being. If you wake up every day feeling needy, separate from abundance, pleading for wealth to appear, what are you truly declaring to your world? You are affirming your distance from money. You are reinforcing lack. You are rehearsing poverty in your imagination, and so the world, like an obedient servant, delivers more of that state. But the moment you shift the center of your awareness, the moment you declare, not by force, but by quiet, unwavering conviction, I am wealth, I am abundance, I am money itself, the world begins to rearrange itself, circumstances, people, opportunities. All of them conspire in silence to reflect your new identity. This is not arrogance, this is alignment. You must feel rich before riches arrive. You must become the essence of money before the symbols of money flood your experience. Most believe money is paper, digits, transactions. But money is a state of being, a frequency, a spiritual posture. The wealthy are not those with overflowing bank accounts alone. The wealthy are those whose minds overflow with the assumption of prosperity. Without this inner wealth, even fortunes slip away. With it, even the smallest seed of opportunity multiplies beyond measure. And so I say to you, stop begging life to bring you wealth. Stop chasing it as though you are unworthy, as though abundance is some elusive stranger. Instead, enter the silent sanctuary of your imagination. See yourself as money embodied. Feel the security, the generosity, the influence that money carries. Walk, breathe, and think as one who is wealth in human form. When you become the money, money can no longer resist you. It must appear because reality has no choice but to mirror who you are being. Do not wait for your bank account to show you the proof. The bank account is the after effect, never the cause. The cause is your inner state. When you cultivate the inner posture of abundance, when you rehearse wealth in your mind, when you dwell upon the feelings of being rich, life bends to that truth. Opportunities will arise, people will come, situations will unfold, not because you chase them, but because you magnetize them by becoming money itself. Your work is not to look, not to strive, not to plead, but to become. Become the person for whom wealth is natural, inevitable, effortless. Become the money, and watch how the world rushes to confirm it. You attract money by becoming it internally first. Most people make the mistake of thinking money is something external, something distant, floating out in the world, waiting to be found, worked for, or earned through endless struggle. But in truth, money is a reflection, a shadow of your internal state. It is never the first cause, it is always the result. The world you experience is nothing more than a projection of your own consciousness. Everything begins in the unseen realm within you, including wealth. When you feel like money, when you carry yourself with the posture of abundance, when you assume the emotional and mental state of prosperity, money starts to gravitate toward you naturally, because you have aligned yourself with its essence. You don't have to chase after it like a desperate wanderer looking for water in the desert. The one who chases implies lack. The one who becomes creates. The one who is money inside never needs to seek it out because it flows toward them as a reflection of their inner certainty. People look at their bank accounts and say, I am poor, not realizing they have reversed the process of creation. Your bank account does not define your wealth, your consciousness does. The zeros in your account are simply the echo of your inner state, from days, weeks, even months ago. If you wait for the numbers to change before you feel rich, you will be waiting forever. You must declare wealth, feel wealth, embody wealth, and then watch as life mirrors that state back to you. Money is energy. It vibrates at a frequency that matches ease, confidence, certainty, and expansion. When you dwell in thoughts of fear, scarcity, or desperation, you place yourself on a different frequency entirely, one where wealth feels foreign, where opportunities slip through your fingers, where life keeps you running in circles, chasing shadows. But the moment you stop and shift your identity from one who is seeking to one who already possesses, the shift begins. Have you ever noticed how the truly wealthy carry themselves? It's not just about expensive suits, cars, or watches. It's the energy. It's the presence. They walk into a room with the quiet certainty that they belong, that they deserve, that life bends to their desires. That is not arrogance. It is alignment. They became money inside long before they held it in their hands. They rehearsed the feelings of security, power, influence, and freedom in their imagination, and the world followed suit. It does not matter where you were born, what your current job is, or how much is in your pocket today. What matters is the assumption you carry within yourself every single moment. If you rise in the morning feeling small, struggling, doubting your worth, the world will reflect that struggle back to you in the form of unpaid bills, missed opportunities, and closed doors. But if you wake up and, regardless of what your eyes see, you declare within, I am wealth, I am abundance, I am money, your reality begins to shift. This is not about pretending. This is about embodying the truth that your inner world precedes your outer world. You cannot possess outwardly what you have not first claimed inwardly. Feel rich before the money arrives. Feel abundant before the opportunities knock. Feel free before the chains fall off. This is the great secret most ignore. They beg life to change while staying anchored in the state of lack. But life listens to your state, not your words. You attract what you are, not what you want. If you want money but you feel unworthy, disconnected, or poor, your desires cannot take root. But when you assume the state of the wealthy version of you, when you mentally occupy that place of power, generosity, and financial ease, you invite the world to rearrange itself around your new identity. Stop running after money like a beggar at the door of life. Instead, walk through your days as though you already possess it. Speak, think, and feel from the place of already being wealthy. Picture the emotions you would carry if you knew without a doubt that money flows to you with ease. Feel the confidence, the relief, the security of being that version of yourself now. In doing so, you collapse time. You pull the unseen future into the present moment. And reality cannot help but mirror your new state. Every wealthy person became money inside before they held it outside. Whether they were aware of the process or not, they assumed the role, they rehearsed the feelings, they walked with the energy of someone who is money itself. And so life followed their lead. You are no different. Your task is not to look for money, it is to become it. Align your inner world with the frequency of wealth and watch as the world transforms to match. Your self-concept determines your financial reality. Every experience you have, every dollar that flows toward you or away from you, every opportunity that knocks or fails to knock, is shaped by the silent, invisible story you tell yourself about who you are. Most people remain trapped in cycles of lack because they've accepted a self-image rooted in limitation. They look at their environment, their upbringing, their present circumstances, and from those external facts, they create an internal belief. I am not wealthy. I struggle. Money doesn't come to people like me. And so the cycle repeats itself. Not because of fate, not because of luck, but because they never change the most powerful thing that governs their lives, their self-concept. Your self-concept is the foundation of your existence. It is the silent declaration of who you believe yourself to be. It dictates how you walk, how you talk, how you react, how you expect life to unfold, and make no mistake, life always conforms to the expectations seeded within your identity. If you believe deep down that you are poor, unworthy of abundance, or destined to struggle, then the universe, in its unwavering obedience, arranges circumstances to validate that belief. But the reverse is just as true. When you shift your self-concept to align with wealth, when you assume the inner posture of someone for whom abundance is natural, inevitable, and effortless, life has no choice but to reflect that state. The outer world does not create your inner world. It echoes it. Every financial breakthrough, every business opportunity, every stroke of luck that people marvel at begins as an invisible seed planted within the soil of your self-concept. Look closely at your life and you'll see this principle at work. Notice how people who carry themselves with certainty, with quiet confidence, seem to magnetize success. It's not their circumstances creating that. They've already embodied the identity of someone who expects prosperity, and so the world complies. On the other hand, those who see themselves as victims of economy, upbringing, or bad luck often find their reality littered with missed opportunities, rejection, and financial drought. Not because life is unfair, but because they are faithfully living out the script of their self-concept. If you want wealth, you cannot merely want it. You must become the person who has it. That becoming happens in your mind long before it appears in your bank account. You must shift the way you see yourself. You must walk into every room with the energy of someone who belongs, who deserves, who owns. You must interact with the world as one who is already abundant. Even if the world tries to convince you otherwise, you hold the truth of your new self-concept within, unwavering, immovable. This is not about arrogance. It's about spiritual alignment. The wealthy version of you is not somewhere in the distant future. It exists within the present moment, waiting to be claimed. Every time you choose to think, speak, and feel from the identity of wealth, you water the seed of your new self-concept, and the universe begins to shift around you. Sometimes slowly, sometimes dramatically, but always inevitably. You cannot escape your self-concept. It follows you into every decision, every relationship, every financial choice. If you secretly believe money is hard to get, that belief filters into your actions, your energy, and your opportunities. Even the greatest strategies will crumble if they are built upon a foundation of lack. But when your self-concept says, I am worthy of wealth, I am abundance, money flows to me with ease, then even the simplest actions become powerful, magnetizing, transformative. People spend years learning skills, chasing jobs, building businesses, yet they neglect the most crucial work, the renovation of their self-concept. Without it, they repeat the same struggles, dressed in new circumstances. They switch jobs, partners, locations, but the root problem remains. The inner image has not changed. And so, the outer world stays stubbornly familiar. But the moment you dare to rewrite your self-concept, everything changes. It starts within, in the privacy of your mind where no one can see. You begin to rehearse a new story. You visualize yourself wealthy, calm, secure. You feel the emotions of financial ease, even if your environment tells a different story. You discipline your inner conversations, no longer speaking words of lack or struggle, but affirming your new identity with quiet certainty. Over time, the old self-concept dissolves. The fearful, struggling version of you loses its grip, and the wealthy, empowered version of you steps forward. And because the universe is bound to reflect your internal reality, life rearranges itself, opportunities appear, money finds you. Success, once elusive, becomes natural, because you finally became the person who expects and embodies it. It is never about chasing money. It is about transforming the self that money is drawn to. Your self-concept is the magnet. When you believe you are wealth itself, when your identity hums with the vibration of abundance, the outer world has no choice but to respond accordingly. Everything flows from the state of being you occupy within. Change that state, and you change your financial destiny. Money is a frequency, not just paper or coins. This is the part most people miss entirely. And it is why they struggle endlessly trying to grab hold of something that was never meant to be chased in the first place. They look at money as a material object, something physical, something tangible that exists outside of them, and because of this, they limit their understanding of how wealth is truly created and sustained. But money, at its core, is not merely ink on paper or numbers in a digital account. It is energy, vibration, a frequency that responds to your inner state. Everything in this world operates on frequency. The thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, the beliefs you hold, all of these create a vibration that speaks to the universe long before your words ever do. Money lives on a particular frequency, the frequency of abundance, ease, certainty, confidence, and flow. Those who align their inner world with that frequency, whether they consciously understand the process or not, naturally attract money into their experience. And those who remain trapped in the frequencies of fear, scarcity, desperation, and lack continue to repel wealth, no matter how hard they work or how much they chase. Look at how life unfolds for those who understand this. The truly wealthy rarely appear frantic, desperate, or uncertain. They walk through life with a relaxed confidence, a quiet ease, because they have matched their inner world to the frequency of money. They have tuned their emotional and mental state to abundance, and as a result, wealth flows toward them almost effortlessly. It is not their job, their background, or their connections alone that create this magnetism. It is the energy they carry. Most people operate from the illusion that their external circumstances dictate their inner world. They say, when I have money, I will feel abundant. When I see wealth, I will believe I am prosperous. But this is backwards. The universe does not respond to your outer circumstances. It reflects your dominant inner frequency. You must feel abundant before the money arrives. You must vibrate wealth before the physical symbols of wealth show up. This is how the invisible shapes the visible. Money is drawn to those who are already vibrating on its level. If your inner world is filled with worry, fear, or frustration about money, you are not in harmony with the frequency of wealth. You are in harmony with the frequency of lack. And so the universe, always obedient, continues to mirror that state, bringing you more experiences that validate your scarcity. But when you begin to shift your vibration, when you cultivate feelings of ease, gratitude, and certainty about your financial life, you align yourself with the frequency where money already exists, and your reality begins to shift accordingly. It's not about pretending to be rich or forcing positive thoughts. It's about genuinely shifting your internal energy to match the reality you desire. You don't need to deceive yourself, but you do need to discipline your thoughts and emotions. Every time you dwell in lack, worry, or frustration, you reinforce the frequency of scarcity. Every time you dwell in gratitude, confidence, and expectation, you align with the frequency of abundance. You can test this for yourself. Notice how you feel when you think about money. Do you feel tense, anxious, uncertain? Or do you feel calm, empowered, deserving? That feeling is your current frequency. Your work is not to chase after external symbols, but to tune your inner world so that wealth becomes inevitable. Money is not outside of you. It is an energetic reflection of your dominant inner state. Think of your mind and emotions as a radio dial. When you want to listen to a particular station, you don't demand the radio to play your favorite song while leaving the dial set to the wrong frequency. You adjust the dial, until you're tuned in, and only then does the music play. The same principle applies to money. You cannot expect wealth to flow into your life while remaining tuned to the frequency of fear and lack. You must adjust your inner state, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, until you are vibrating in harmony with abundance. And once you are tuned in, the symbols follow naturally, the opportunities arise, the ideas appear, the people connect, but it all begins with frequency. The physical world is simply the slowest, densest expression of energy. Change the energy first, and the physical rearrangement is inevitable. The reason some people seem to attract money effortlessly while others struggle endlessly is not luck. It is frequency alignment. Those who thrive financially may not always understand this process consciously, but they have, intentionally or by accident, tuned themselves to the vibration where money resides. They feel wealthy, they expect abundance, they carry the posture of prosperity, and so life reflects that energy back to them. It is never the grind, the hustle, or the desperate pursuit that brings true wealth. It is the subtle, quiet alignment of your inner world to the frequency of abundance that changes everything. When you embody that energy, money becomes a byproduct of who you are, not a distant prize to be chased. This is the way reality works, not through force, but through frequency. When you become the vibration of wealth, the universe has no choice but to deliver the symbols of that state into your experience. Stop chasing, start assuming you already are the source. This is where most people sabotage their ability to attract wealth. They run after it as though money is separate from them, as though abundance is a thing outside their reach, floating somewhere in the future, locked behind circumstances or hard work alone. But chasing implies lack. It implies that money exists beyond you, and that you, in your current state, are not aligned with it. Every time you chase something, you declare to the universe that you do not have it. You reinforce the idea of separation. But when you stop chasing and instead assume that you are already the source of wealth, you collapse the illusion of distance between you and abundance. There is a great misunderstanding among those who strive endlessly for success. They believe their relentless pursuit will bring them closer to wealth. But pursuit fueled by desperation or lack only breeds more of the same. You see it every day. People grinding themselves into exhaustion, chasing opportunity after opportunity, yet wealth slips through their fingers. Why? Because they are operating from a state of absence. Their energy speaks louder than their actions. Their vibration says, I am lacking. I am separate from money. And so, the universe reflects exactly that: more lack, more struggle, more scarcity. The truth is, money is drawn to those who already carry the assumption that they are abundant. You do not need to beg life for wealth. You do not need to convince the universe to favor you. You only need to align your internal state with the knowing that you are already the source of all you seek. Everything in your outer world originates from within you. When you assume that wealth is your natural state, when you believe deeply and quietly that abundance flows from you, life begins to arrange itself in accordance with that identity. This is not about arrogance. It is not about pretending to be rich while your circumstances contradict that image. It is about understanding the fundamental law of consciousness, that your world is a mirror reflecting your self-concept. If you want to see wealth reflected back to you, you must first carry the image of the wealthy within. When you hold the belief that money is already yours, when you feel the certainty, security, and ease of being abundant, you are no longer chasing, you are becoming. And the universe responds to becoming, not to desperate pursuit. You have likely seen individuals who seem to attract opportunities, resources, and wealth without appearing to exert the same frantic energy others do. It is not luck. It is not privilege alone. It is alignment. These individuals, whether consciously or not, have assumed within themselves that they are worthy of abundance, that wealth is natural to them, that they are the source from which prosperity flows. And so, life mirrors that assumption back to them. The most powerful shift you can make is to stop looking for money and start seeing yourself as the source of it. You are not chasing wealth, you are generating it from within. You are not seeking opportunity, you are becoming the person for whom opportunity is inevitable. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you cultivate, every image you hold in your mind contributes to the energetic blueprint of your reality. When you assume wealth within, life brings the external confirmation. Chasing keeps you in a cycle of waiting, of hoping, of reaching, but assuming collapses time. It brings the desired reality closer because you begin to vibrate as the person who already has it. And reality cannot help but reflect that state. Your job is not to run after wealth, it is to embody the energy of wealth to feel now what most are waiting to feel after the money arrives. But the paradox is, it never arrives until you feel it first. Consider how the truly abundant move through life. They are not chasing, they are creating. They speak with authority. They make decisions with clarity. They carry themselves with certainty because they are grounded in the knowing that wealth is their natural state. Their environment adjusts to match their assumption, not the other way around. You have that same power within you, but you must stop running after what you believe is missing and start becoming the source from which it flows. Everything external is downstream of your inner state. Money, success, relationships, opportunities, all of it arises from the frequency you hold within. When you adopt the assumption that you are already abundant, that money flows to you, that you are the source, you break the exhausting cycle of pursuit. You magnetize wealth by being in harmony with it, not by chasing shadows of it. The world is not withholding wealth from you. Your belief that you must chase it is what keeps it distant. But when you stand in the quiet power of assumption, when you declare within, I am the source, I am wealth, I am abundance, life reorganizes itself around that truth. You cease to be the seeker and you become the magnet. Wealth flows not because you chased it down, but because you assumed your rightful place as the source of it all. The world is a mirror, reflecting who you believe you are. This is the foundation upon which all transformation rests. Every experience you have, every relationship, every financial condition, every success or failure, all of it begins with the image you carry within your mind. Most people live their entire lives believing that the external world is separate from them, that circumstances are fixed, that luck, fate, or other people determine their destiny. But the truth is far more empowering, though few are willing to accept its simplicity. Your reality is not happening to you. It is happening through you. The world merely reflects back the assumptions, beliefs, and feelings you project from within. If you believe yourself to be lacking, insignificant, or undeserving of wealth, no amount of effort, no opportunity, no stroke of luck will override that belief. The mirror cannot show a different image than what stands before it. You can only experience on the outside what you have accepted as true on the inside. This is why the most important work you will ever do is not changing the world, but changing your concept of yourself. The world is the echo. The self is the origin. Your outer life bends and shapes itself to reflect your innermost assumptions about who you are and what you deserve. You may notice this pattern when observing others. Have you ever seen someone who, no matter how many opportunities come their way, still manages to lose money, sabotage success, or repel abundance? It's not because the opportunities weren't real. It's because their self-image was still rooted in lack, poverty, or fear. The mirror was only reflecting their inner disbelief, their unworthiness, their scarcity mindset. No external event can override the dominant frequency you carry within. Conversely, there are those who, even in the face of temporary setbacks or losses, quickly rebound, attract new opportunities, and continue to thrive. It's not luck, it's alignment. Their self-concept is saturated with the belief that they are abundant, worthy, capable, and deserving. The world, being a faithful mirror, continues to reflect that truth back to them through wealth, opportunities, and ease. This is why chasing money never works. The act of chasing declares that you are separate from it, that you are not yet the person who possesses it. And so the mirror reflects distance, lack, and longing. But when you adjust your inner image, when you assume the state of already being wealthy, when you carry yourself as though abundance is your natural identity, the world reflects that back with precision. For the bank account, the clients, the unexpected opportunities, they are not the cause of your wealth, they are the effect of your assumption. Most people misunderstand the process of creation because they wait for external confirmation before they adjust their inner state. They say, I will feel abundant when I have more money. I will feel worthy when I am successful. But the mirror cannot reflect a smiling face until the person standing in front of it smiles first. Your world cannot reflect wealth, opportunity, or success until you project that state from within. The world does not lead your experience, it follows it. This is why self-concept work is not optional, it is essential. Every belief you hold about yourself is like a command to the universe, shaping the mirror of your reality. If you constantly affirm that life is hard, that money is scarce, that success is for others but not for you, the world will obediently comply. But when you declare from within that you are abundant, that wealth flows to you, that you are deserving and capable, the mirror has no choice but to reflect that truth in your external conditions. It is not about faking confidence or pretending wealth. It is about genuinely cultivating the internal state that aligns with the life you desire. This requires discipline, awareness, and repetition. You must catch the thoughts that contradict your desired reality and replace them with those that affirm your new self-concept. Over time, the image within changes and the mirror responds. This is the quiet power of assumption. You do not need to force the world to change, you only need to change your perception of yourself and the world follows. Every breakthrough, every financial increase, every opportunity is a reflection of the shift that occurred within you first. The outer world always lags behind the inner world, but it never fails to catch up. You have been given dominion over your reality, but that dominion begins in the unseen realm of your mind. If you see yourself as wealthy, abundant, and powerful, the world will reflect opportunities, resources, and relationships that validate that belief. If you see yourself as lacking, unworthy, or incapable, the world will reflect limitations, scarcity, and struggle. There is no exception to this law. The world cannot reflect what you have not first become, and becoming begins with belief, with assumption, with the image you nurture within. Your job is not to chase wealth, but to become the person for whom wealth is inevitable. Your job is not to beg life for abundance, but to embody the vibration of abundance now, in this moment. The world is a mirror. It does not judge, it does not decide, it only reflects. You can argue with the reflection, or you can change the image you present to it. When you shift your self-concept to align with wealth, the mirror responds. When you believe you are the source of abundance, life organizes itself to confirm that truth. When you see yourself as worthy of success, success cannot help but appear. The mirror never lies. It only reflects. Close your eyes, breathe gently, and know what you seek is not far from you. It is within you. Healing is not a distant event, but a present reality waiting for your recognition. You do not heal by effort. You heal by acceptance, by assuming that you are already well. The body responds not to struggle, but to assumption. Every cell listens to the tone of your inner voice. What are you whispering to yourself? Begin here. Trust. Trust is not passive. Trust is an act of creation. When you trust, you align with the invisible currents of wholeness. You are saying, "It is done. I do not need to beg. I do not need to worry. I only need to rest in the knowing that I am." Healing is not something to chase. It's something to allow. In meditation, return to that sacred place within, where you already are whole. Close the doors of the outer world. Go within. Visualize your body glowing with light. See yourself walking in strength, breathing in peace, speaking with clarity. Feel it. Live it. Claim it. Affirmations are the voice of your inner God, not mere words, but creative decrees. Do not speak as one hoping. Speak as one who knows. Say, "I am whole. Every cell in my body vibrates with health. I trust the divine order of my life. Healing is mine now." And as you speak, let emotion rise. Let joy find you. Let peace flow like warm light over your being. For what you feel, you attract. And what you accept, becomes. Your body is not separate from your mind. It is the canvas upon which your beliefs are painted. Paint well. Choose thoughts of harmony. Choose visions of vitality. Choose to see yourself as already renewed. Let every meditation be a journey back to your true self. Let every affirmation be a reminder that you are not becoming healed, you are remembering that you already are. Most people look to their outer circumstances for confirmation of healing. They wait for the doctor's report, the physical evidence, the signs from the world to tell them it's time to feel better. But this is to move backwards through the creative process. The world does not cause your inner state. Your inner state causes the world you see. What you vividly imagine, especially in times of stillness, becomes the pattern that your body begins to follow. You must dare to see yourself as already healed before a single symptom disappears. In your imagination, walk as the healed person. Breathe as they would. Feel the calm strength in your body. Hear the voice of confidence within you. Use every sense, sight, sound, touch, taste, smell, to make this inner picture alive. When you do this, something powerful happens. Your subconscious accepts the image as truth and begins to reorganize your entire system around that truth. This is not daydreaming. It is not idle fantasy. It is creation in its purest form. The world calls it imagination. The wise call it vision. It is how all transformation begins. Every invention, every work of art, every moment of healing, each began first in the unseen realm of thought, feeling, and vision. The body listens. It listens to your thoughts, your inner conversations, and the images you dwell on. If you constantly imagine illness, talk about pain, and rehearse worst-case scenarios, the body will respond with tension, fear, and often disease. But when you begin to reverse this, when you intentionally imagine life, health, joy, and energy, the body relaxes. It begins to follow the image it sees repeated in the mind. That is why healing through imagination is not a matter of trying harder, but surrendering more deeply. Let go of the outer facts for a while. Withdraw your attention from what the senses scream at you. Enter your secret sanctuary within. In this space you are free to create what you desire. Not what is, but what is desired. You are not bound by appearances in your imagination. There you can be whole now. You can feel good now. You can rise, smile, and speak from the place of healing, even if the outer world hasn't yet caught up. This act of inner seeing is not wishful thinking. It is spiritual law. Your life will always rise or fall to meet the image you hold of yourself. So hold a strong one. Hold a radiant one. Choose again and again to dwell in the image of your ideal, and the body will begin to harmonize with it. You cannot fake this. You must feel it. You must believe in your inner world more than you believe in the temporary evidence of your outer one. It is your imagination that speaks to the infinite, that communicates directly with the creative force of life itself. Use it with reverence. Use it with consistency, and watch what begins to change, not by force, but by alignment. Healing begins with one decision: to no longer let the outer world dictate your inner state. From there, you choose the image of wholeness. You dwell in it, you walk in it, you feel it as if it were already done. And by divine law, it must come forth and to exist now. You are already healed in the eternal now. There is no delay, no waiting, no future moment where healing will finally arrive. It is not something coming down the road, not something being earned by effort or time. It exists now, in this moment, fully formed in the invisible realm. The truth of who you are is wholeness. The only thing missing is your recognition of it. Healing is not something to chase. The moment you seek it outside of yourself, you have stepped away from the truth. The body may present symptoms, the mind may hold fear, but these are only reflections of old assumptions, patterns of belief that have been accepted and repeated over time. They are not the final authority. What truly governs your experience is your state of consciousness, what you accept as true right now. In the eternal now, all things are present. There is no past to relive, no future to await. There is only awareness, and in awareness, if you accept the state of being here, your world begins to shift to reflect that truth. Not because time has passed, but because your assumption has changed. To assume the feeling of being whole is to rise in consciousness above the facts. It is to look past the pain, the diagnosis, the worry, and to say, I remember who I am. You do not need the world to confirm it. You do not need others to understand. The moment you accept this inner state as true, something begins to rearrange. Healing does not come from effort. It comes from identification. If you identify with being unwell, even if unknowingly, your reality will echo that. But if you identify with being whole, even in silence, that silent knowing begins to shape your life. There is great power in assumption. It is not pretending, it is not lying to yourself. It is aligning with the truth that already is. The eternal now holds all possibilities. In this moment, you can tune into the version of yourself that already walks in peace, already breathes with ease, already lives in balance and harmony. That version is not separate from you. It is you, without the layers of fear, doubt, and memory. You were never broken, only taught to believe you were. And now, you return, not by fixing yourself, but by awakening to what you have always been. Wholeness is not earned. It is revealed. Feel it. That is the key. Do not merely say the words. Feel what it means to be whole. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the calm knowing that nothing is missing, nothing is wrong. Rest in that feeling. Let it saturate your mind, your breath, your body. When you dwell in that state, even for moments, you are no longer reaching, you are receiving. This is how transformation occurs, not by waiting for better news, but by becoming the bearer of new assumptions. You assume wholeness. You assume wellness. You walk, speak, breathe, and think from that place. The outer will catch up. The body will respond. The world around you will begin to rearrange itself to reflect what you hold as true. So right now, let go of striving. Let go of hoping that healing will come one day. Say instead, it is here, it is now, it is done. The eternal now holds no delays, no conditions. It only holds what you accept. The invitation is simple. Stop trying to get healed and start being healed. Live from the end, not the middle. Feel from the answer, not the question. Trust the unseen more than the seen. And what you feel with conviction in this eternal now will unfold effortlessly into form. You are already healed. Walk in that knowing. Meditation aligns you with the infinite. In the silence beyond thought, beyond striving, beyond fear, you meet the source of all creation. It is not in doing, not in forcing, not in fixing that true healing arrives. It is in returning to the center, to the deep stillness where your being is whole, untouched, and complete. This is the place where all things begin and where all things are resolved. The world trains us to look outward, to search for solutions, to run toward results. But the moment you close your eyes and turn within, you step into the realm where time and form lose their grip. You enter the field of the infinite, where all states of being exist now, and where healing is not something to create, but something to remember. Meditation is the gateway to this remembrance. It is not an escape, it is a return. In stillness, you do not beg for healing, you become it. You no longer argue with your symptoms or try to rearrange your outer conditions. You simply allow yourself to rest in the truth that underneath all appearance, you are already whole. This resting is not passive. It is powerful. It is the stillness that moves mountains, the silence that brings clarity, the quiet that restores every cell of your body. You were never designed to carry the weight of the world in your mind. Your natural state is peace. Your essence is harmony. But in the noise of life, this truth is often buried. That is why meditation is so essential. It is the daily practice of remembering. Each breath in awareness is a return to your true self. Each moment of stillness is a letting go of false identity and false limitation. And as the layers fall away, what remains is not a broken or incomplete version of you. It is your divine essence, shining and whole. Healing does not need to be summoned. It needs to be allowed. It is always flowing, always available. But we resist it when we live in the chatter of fear, the tension of control, and the belief that we must earn our wellness. Meditation removes the interference, it clears the static and reattunes you to the natural rhythm of life. And life, at its core, knows how to heal itself. As you sit in stillness, do not seek anything, do not try to make something happen. Simply become aware. Aware of the breath, aware of the silence, aware of the energy that surrounds you and flows through you. This awareness itself is alignment. It connects you with the infinite mind, the divine intelligence that formed you and sustains you. When you sit in this place long enough, something beautiful begins to unfold, not from effort, but from surrender. You will notice your thoughts softening, your emotions releasing, your body relaxing, and more importantly, you will notice that your sense of self expands. You are no longer the person trying to heal. You are the awareness in which healing is natural, constant, and inevitable. This is the power of meditation. It reveals to you what is already true, that you are not separate from the divine, that the infinite is not somewhere far off. It is within you, as you, now. And in this unity, miracles become normal, restoration becomes effortless, and peace becomes your foundation. Do not underestimate the silence. It is not empty, it is full. Full of wisdom, guidance, strength, and healing. When you return to it, again and again, you will find that the life you once tried to control begins to flow with grace. The healing you once chased begins to manifest on its own. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned. Meditation is not a luxury, it is your home. Return to it daily, not to change yourself, but to remember yourself. And in remembering, healing becomes not a destination, but your natural state. Affirmations must be felt, not just spoken. It is not the repetition alone that changes your world. It is the feeling behind the words. You are not trying to convince a distant power or recite a magic phrase. You are speaking from the place of power within you, the divine center that creates reality through assumption and belief. Words saturated with conviction become law. You can repeat a phrase 1,000 times, but if you do not feel its truth, you are only echoing emptiness. Real affirmation is not about quantity, it is about quality of belief. It is the sacred act of assuming a truth so deeply that the outer world must conform. You are not begging, hoping, or persuading. You are declaring. And the one to whom you declare is yourself. When you say, I am healed or I am whole, you must speak from the end, not from the lack. If your heart still clings to the absence, the pain, the fear, then those are the energies you continue to affirm even while the words on your lips say otherwise. But when you say it with feeling, with stillness in your heart, and vision in your imagination, something shifts. You become the very thing you declare. Emotion is the carrier of assumption. It is the bridge between idea and reality. When you feel the truth of your affirmation, even before it appears, you activate the creative power of your inner world. You become magnetic to the version of life that matches your state. The words are not the cause, they are the vessel. It is the feeling that gives them life. To speak an affirmation correctly is to dwell in the state of its fulfillment. You do not speak of a thing, you speak from it. You feel the outcome as already yours. You sit in the calm, knowing that what you have spoken is done, and the world will rearrange to reflect it. Let your affirmations become sacred declarations. Say them with reverence, with presence, and with the tone of one who knows. Not because the world has confirmed it yet, but because your imagination already has, and that is enough. The outer follows the inner, always. Affirming I am abundant, while feeling anxious and desperate, does not create abundance, it strengthens lack. But when you say I am abundant, with peace in your chest, with gratitude as if the evidence is already before you. Now your words take root. The soil of consciousness accepts the seed when it is dropped, in faith, not in doubt. You must understand, your subconscious mind hears not just your words, but the tone beneath them. It responds to feeling, not form. It obeys the emotion you pair with your statement. Say it flat, and it remains dormant. Say it alive with belief, and it begins to move mountains. Speak your affirmations in the stillness of the morning or the quiet of night, when the mind is most receptive. Close your eyes, slow your breath, and speak not to get, but to become. Become the healed, the whole, the abundant, the beloved. See yourself as already in possession of the truth you affirm. Feel the peace of it, the joy, the relief. Let that be your practice. You do not need 1,000 affirmations. You need one, spoken with such inner conviction that it feels like a prophecy. You are not just reciting, you are commanding. Not from force, but from knowing. And in that knowing, all things align. Affirmations are not about sounding strong. They are about feeling strong. They are not tools of the mind alone, but instruments of the heart. Let every word carry the frequency of your desire fulfilled. Let every sentence be saturated in the energy of already having it. That is when you stop speaking to the world and start speaking as the world you wish to see. And then your words become flesh. Trust is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. It is the invisible thread that connects the desire to its fulfillment, the imagined to the manifested, the inner world to the outer. Without trust, you wander through life attempting to control every detail, growing weary with doubt and frustration. But with trust, you rest in the knowing that all things are working together. Though unseen, they are not undone. Trust is the power that holds the unseen reality in place until it appears before your eyes. So many delay their manifestations not because they do not desire them, but because they do not trust. They affirm with their lips but cancel with their doubt. They pray, then check the world to see if anything has changed. And when it is not, they say, it didn't work. But trust is not impatient. Trust knows that what is planted will rise, not on your time, but in perfect time. Trust is not looking for signs, it is the sign. The moment you truly trust, your inner world softens. Anxiety fades. You stop grasping, stop forcing. Stop trying to figure it all out. You understand that your work is to assume, to feel, and to know, and then to walk in peace, as if what you desire is already yours, because it is. The world you see is only a reflection of your inner state. And when you live in trust, you shift the cause. You no longer react to appearances, but respond from your deeper knowing. The outer may still look unchanged, but within you have crossed the bridge. You are no longer trying to get, you are simply allowing what already exists to meet you. Every desire is already complete in the unseen. When it arose in your heart, it came from a deeper place than logic. It came from the infinite, through you. And the moment you claimed it, it was done. But you must trust this unseen fulfillment more than you trust the temporary evidence of delay. Delay is not denial. It is simply the rearrangement of the visible to match the invisible. When you worry, you step off the bridge. When you question how or when, you block the very flow you ask to receive. But when you trust, deeply and quietly, you invite. You create space for life to meet you where you are. You become the calm observer. no longer in resistance, no longer in fear. Trust is not loud. It does not argue or explain. It is the silent agreement between you and the source of all things. It is the steady voice within that says, I know it is done. And that voice, once believed, becomes the reality you walk into. To trust is to remember who you are. You are not separate from the Creator. You are not powerless. You are not chasing miracles. You are the place where miracles begin. You were given the gift of imagination, not to tease yourself with fantasies, but to create realities. And the only price to pay is belief, faith, trust. So when you imagine your healing, your abundance, your peace, hold to it with the quiet strength of trust. Do not waver, because the world is slow to reflect it. Time is not the measure of truth. Your inner knowing is. Feel it. Live in it. Speak from it. And above all, trust it. For what you trust in your heart will become the law of your life. Doubt delays, but trust invites. Doubt argues, but trust agrees. Trust is not waiting, it is receiving. It is walking as though it's already done because it is. You are not here to force the outcome. You are here to align with it. So let trust be your foundations. Let it carry you over the unseen waters. Let it hold you when the evidence is thin. Because trust is the bridge that never fails. And once you walk it with confidence, the unseen becomes seen. Every time. Your self-concept is the foundation of your health. You do not experience life as it is. You experience life as you are. And how you see yourself, what you accept as true about your body, your mind, your spirit, shapes every cell, every response, every outcome. You cannot carry a self-image of weakness, fear, or disease and walk in wholeness. You must rise in consciousness and see yourself as already vibrant, already restored, already whole. There is no outside condition that defines you unless you claim it. The body responds to the mind's instruction, and the mind listens to your concept of self. If you see yourself as fragile, you become so. If you see yourself as a victim, life will mirror it. But if you dare to hold the vision of yourself as divinely supported, healed, and strong, even in the face of contradiction, you send out a new instruction, and the body listens. The body is not the cause, it is the result. And the root of that result is always the state of being you occupy. Healing begins when you shift your identity. When you say, I am whole, not out of wishful thinking, but out of knowing that your true essence cannot be broken. You are not the illness. You are not the diagnosis. You are not the limitation. You are the awareness behind all of it, and that awareness is eternal, pure, and powerful. You cannot remain loyal to the image of being unwell and expect health to find you. Healing begins the moment you drop the false self, the one that identifies with pain, struggle, and lack, and return to your true self, the one made in the image of the infinite, the one who knows that wholeness is not something to attain, but something to remember. Your self-concept is a seed, and whatever you water daily becomes the fruit you live by. So begin to nourish a new identity, one where you are no longer chasing healing, but embodying it. One where you no longer see yourself as broken, but as constantly regenerating, constantly aligned with divine intelligence. When you see yourself this way, not just occasionally, but habitually, you change the entire field around you. You see the entire field around you as a head of destiny. And the world lives in bliss when you change the entire field around you. The body hears what you say about it. Every time you affirm, I am tired, I am sick, I can't heal, you are imprinting that identity into your cells. But when you speak with power, I am vibrant, I am alive with energy, I am divinely guided to full restoration, you open a new pathway and the body will begin to follow. This is not about denying symptoms, it is about denying their authority. You can acknowledge pain without becoming it. You can observe imbalance without naming it your identity. The shift happens when you place your attention not on what is wrong, but on what is eternally right. The truth of who you are beneath the noise. The mind may argue. It may say, but look at the evidence, look at the reports, look at the mirror, and still you must say, I do not live by what I see. I live by what I know. And I know that I am not limited to this moment. I am more than this body. I am the one who directs it. Self-concept is not fixed. It is fluid. It can be renewed, rewritten, resurrected. You can build a new image starting today, one that radiates strength, wellness, peace, and joy. And every time you return to that image, in thought, in meditation, in affirmation, you breathe life into it. See yourself as whole, not someday, but now. Feel it, believe it, live from it. Let that vision grow so strong within you that it dissolves every lesser thought, every fearful suggestion. Because what you consistently accept as true becomes the life you live. You are not here to chase healing, you are here to become it. And when you see yourself as already aligned, already radiant, already renewed, the body cannot help but follow. Healing is not a distant event, it is a present reality. It begins not in the body, but in the mind, in the silence, in the truth you dare to accept about yourself. You are not a victim of circumstance or diagnosis. You are the operant power, the center of awareness through which life expresses. When you imagine healing, feel it, trust it, affirm it, and align with it, your world shifts. What once seemed impossible becomes inevitable. This is the secret. You are not becoming healed. You are remembering that you already are. In the eternal now, nothing is missing, nothing is broken. Assume that feeling. Walk in that knowing. Let your self-concept rise to meet the version of you that is already whole, already vibrant, already free. You do not need to force anything. You only need to return to yourself again and again until that truth becomes louder than fear, deeper than doubt, and stronger than any condition. Healing is not outside you. It is who you are. Thank you. May your trust grow deeper, your affirmations ring truer, your meditations reveal more peace, and may your imagination never again forget its power. Close the door. Turn off the noise. Withdraw, not from the world, but from the illusion. What you are about to do is not magic. It is sacred law. Unseen, unheard, but unfailing. You do not need to beg, you do not need to announce. This is not for applause. What you are about to build is real, so real it doesn't need validation. Go into the silence, shut your eyes, and now see it. Not with these eyes, but with the only eyes that truly create. The eyes of imagination, This is where the world is born. Not in noise, not in effort, not in proof, but in the quiet, secret place within you. Here, feel it. Don't just visualize it, feel it. Walk in that room you've never been in. Touch the keys to the car you've never owned. Hold the hand you long to hold. Laugh at the life that already belongs to you. This is not foolishness. This is faith. And faith is not hope. It is certainty without evidence. When the world says, prove it, you say nothing, because you've already claimed it in secret. At night when no one is watching, lay down and drift into the scene. Not the scene of what is, but of what shall be. You live there, breathe there, sleep in the feeling that it's already done. Everything begins in the mind. Long before anything touches your hands, it is first shaped in the silence of your inner world. The chair you sit on, the house you live in, the career you pursue, even the relationships you hold dear. All of them were once nothing more than an idea, a faint impression in the mind of someone who dared to imagine. Imagination is not a childish escape. It is the blueprint of all creation. It is not a distraction from reality. It is the root of reality itself. Most people believe that what they see is what is real. They worship the visible, the tangible, and the proven. But the wise know differently. The wise understand that every visible effect must have an invisible cause. That cause is imagination. The world you walk through is merely a shadow of what has already occurred within you or someone else. Change begins not with effort but with vision. Your mind is the workshop, the sacred place where you design your future. What you consistently hold in imagination with feeling must eventually become visible. That is not a possibility, it is a certainty. You must understand that imagination is not a weak tool to be used occasionally. It is the divine faculty within you. When used deliberately, it has the power to rearrange circumstances, alter outcomes, and summon things once considered impossible. But it works not when you try to manipulate it anxiously. It works when you allow it, gently, faithfully, and consistently. When you see something inwardly and believe it more than what your senses tell you, that's when things begin to move. Let the world laugh. Let them say you're just dreaming. They laughed at the dreamers who saw buildings in the sky before skyscrapers stood, who heard voices across oceans before the telephone rang, who imagined flight before their feet left the ground. But the dreamers knew, they always knew, that the world bends to the inner eye, not the outer one. It may take time, but time is no enemy to the one who trusts their imagination. In your silence, dare to imagine better. When the world tells you to accept lack, imagine abundance. When you feel unloved, imagine yourself cherished. When doors close, see them open. Not because you're trying to trick the world, but because you know the truth. The world is only responding to the image you've impressed upon it. It is mirroring back the beliefs and pictures you've held in your heart. So if you want to change the mirror, change the image. This is why it is said, go into your room, shut the door, and pray in secret. That room is your mind. That secret is your imagination. What you accept as real in the unseen must show up in the seen. This law is unbreakable. You do not need to know how. You do not need to figure out the steps. The how belongs to the unseen forces. Your only task is to remain faithful to the image you have chosen. You are the creator, not the laborer. You are the visionary, not the warrior. Imagination is not fantasy. It is future reality in seed form. Nurture it. Return to it daily. Walk in it when you wake, carry it through your day, and fall asleep in its arms. Let it be more real to you than your current surroundings. Let it fill you with joy before it fills your hands with evidence. That's the true secret. If you can believe it within, the world has no choice but to make it so. This is not philosophy, it is law. Imagination is the beginning of everything, and to ignore it is to abandon your creative power. Use it wisely, use it boldly, and the world will follow. Do not wait for it to happen. That is the great mistake most people make. They believe they must see before they feel, receive before they believe. But creation does not begin with evidence. It begins with assumption. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a reward you receive after something changes. It is the cause that brings the change. To feel as if it is already done, to live in the end, to walk in the state of completion even when nothing in the outer world confirms it. That is the key. That is the secret doorway through which all things enter your life. The world responds not to your desires, but to your state of being, and your state is shaped by feeling. You can say all the right affirmations, make endless plans, and work yourself into exhaustion, that if you continue to feel the absence of what you desire, you are planting seeds of lack. The soil of reality does not discriminate. It grows whatever you water. Be it doubt or faith, fear or joy, lack or abundance. The question is not, what do I want? The question is, what do I feel to be true? Assume the feeling, not the thought, not the logic, but the living, breathing sensation that your desire is already yours. This does not mean pretending or wishing. It means entering the state where the thing is already done and allowing yourself to experience the relief, the peace, and the gratitude that come with it. If you desire love, feel loved. If you desire wealth, feel whole. If you desire healing, feel whole. It is not about forcing the feeling. It is about gently resting in it, relaxing into the reality where what you seek is already present. This is not denial of the facts. It is awareness of a deeper truth. Facts are temporary, states are eternal. What you feel consistently, you eventually experience. This law is unchanging. So do not concern yourself with what is. Concern yourself with what you are accepting as true inwardly. That inner truth becomes your world. That inner conviction becomes flesh. Let your imagination become the theater of fulfillment. Hear the conversations that would occur if your wish were already realized. See the scenes. Feel the embrace. Smell the air of your new reality. Your body doesn't know the difference between an experience that is real and one that is vividly imagined. If you can feel it now, the universe must reflect it later. This is not magic, it is law. So the next time you ask for something, do not linger in the asking, move immediately into the receiving. Act and think from the end. Carry yourself as the person who already possesses the thing. The world may not yet see it, but you are not waiting on the world. The world is waiting on you to believe. When you assume the feeling, something shifts. Not always in the world outside, but certainly in you. And that shift is what moves mountains. The feeling generates the atmosphere in which miracles become normal. What was once distant begins to move closer. What was once impossible begins to feel inevitable. Fall asleep in the feeling. Let it be the last thing you touch at night and the first thing you reach for in the morning. Live in it, walk in it, breathe in it. Don't check for results. Rest in certainty. Don't wait for confirmation. This is the truth. You already are what you seek to become. The only distance between you and your desire is the time it takes to believe. Unbelief is not a thought. It is a feeling. Assume it, own it, become it, and everything else will follow. Stop reacting to what is seen. The moment you give your power to appearances, you become a servant to illusion. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror, a reflection of past thoughts, past assumptions, and past feelings. It is not the truth of who you are, nor is it the truth of what must be. If you continue to let your eyes tell you what is possible, you will be forever limited. To rise above circumstance, you must withdraw attention from it. You must stop feeding it with your energy, your emotion, and your belief. This is not about ignoring life, it is about seeing beyond it. The physical world may present 100 reasons to doubt, 1,000 images of lack, delay, or rejection. But your soul knows better. Your soul knows what it has already claimed in the silence. And your work is to remain loyal to that unseen claim, not the visible distraction. Everything changes the moment you stop reacting. Reactions keep you trapped. When you see the bank account and feel fear, you're reacting. When you get the message and feel rejected, you're reacting. When the job doesn't come through and you declare yourself unlucky, you are giving power to the very thing you wish to change. This is the old way, the way of effort and exhaustion. The new way is different. It is silent, it is inner. It requires faith in the invisible. When something happens in the outer world that contradicts your desire, pause. Do not respond from emotion. Do not accept it as final. Instead, turn within. Close your eyes and return to the scene of fulfillment. Feel again what it feels like to already have what you desire. Let that feeling anchor you. That is your reality. Everything else is passing shadow. The world outside will try to convince you of its authority. It will scream facts, timelines, logic. It will point to your current results and ask, where is it? But you must not answer. In secret, you must deny what your senses scream and affirm what your soul knows. You must walk blind to the world and see only through the eyes of imagination. Every time you withdraw attention from the problem and place it on the solution within, you reclaim your power. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become a creator of reality. This is the work. It is not glamorous. It is not loud. No one may see what you're doing, but you will know. You will feel the shift, and soon the world will catch up. The outer world is slow. It lags behind consciousness. So do not rush it. Do not demand instant proof. Keep walking in the unseen and let the seen bend in its own time. It must. It has no choice. Reality always conforms to the dominant inner state. Withdraw attention from the noise. Let others panic. Let them gossip, doubt, and chase. You are not here to react. You are here to create. And creation begins in silence. Sit with yourself. Listen to what your soul already knows. Let that knowing be louder than anything the world tries to show you. You may feel lonely at first. You may feel like you're pretending, but you're not. You're remembering the truth that was buried under years of conditioning. You are not the effect. You are the cause. So when things seem to go wrong, smile gently. Close your eyes. Feel the truth. And say quietly to yourself, this is not mine. I do not accept it. I know what I've chosen. Each night, as the body begins to surrender to rest and the mind grows quiet, you approach a sacred threshold, the twilight state between wakefulness and sleep. This is not a trivial moment. It is a portal, a doorway between the seen and unseen. In this soft, receptive place, the walls of the conscious mind begin to fade, and the soil of the subconscious is laid bare. Here, whatever you impress must grow. Here, your word becomes law. Most people waste this moment. They drift asleep with worry in their hearts, replaying the day's disappointments, anticipating tomorrow's problems, and so they plant seeds of fear, doubt, and limitation, and then wonder why these same conditions return day after day. But you are called to do something different. You are called to enter the state before you sleep. What does it mean to enter the state? It means to take your consciousness into the reality you desire, not in the future, but now. Before the body succumbs to sleep, you deliberately assume the feeling that your wish has already been fulfilled. You become it, you feel it, you rest in it. As the body drifts away, the soul takes hold of that feeling and embeds it deep within the subconscious. And from there it must express itself. The subconscious does not question or argue. It does not reason. It accepts what it is given, especially in this sensitive twilight state. This is why what you feel just before sleep is more powerful than anything you do all day. It enters your inner being as instruction. It becomes the blueprint of your waking world. So, each night, ask yourself, what seed am I planting? Am I falling asleep in fear or in faith, in worry or in peace? Do not let the last thoughts you carry into slumber be of lack, sickness, or frustration. Instead, make sleep a sacred ritual. Lie down, close your eyes, and imagine. Not passively, but vividly, take yourself there, into the life you choose. Feel the home, the relationship, the success. Hear the sounds. Sense the details. Allow the joy to rise. Do not merely think it. Feel it. That is the key. Feel yourself already in possession of the desire. Not wanting it, not waiting for it, living it. Make the scene so real, so alive, that you can smile in your sleep, knowing that what you have accepted inwardly must soon take shape outwardly. This is not wishful thinking. This is the law in motion. What you impress, you do not have to force it. This is not about straining or effort. It is about surrendering into belief. Let the vision wash over you like a gentle wave. Let it carry you into sleep. Let it become your new home. You may not see immediate results, that is fine. Seeds take time to grow, but they grow. And if you are consistent, if you remain faithful to the feeling, the outer world will begin to mirror the inner one. Do this night after night, make no exceptions. Treat this moment before sleep as holy, for it is. It is the place where your destiny is written in silence, where your future is shaped without a sound. Enter the state and do not leave it. Fall asleep as the person you intend to be, and you will wake into a world that reflects that identity. Do not take sleep lightly. It is not just rest. It is recreation. You are made new each night by what you believe to be true. So believe wisely, feel deliberately, and trust that what is felt deeply in the twilight must eventually shine in the light of day. This is not a suggestion. It is law. It is the hidden code of creation itself. You have been told to ask, but how do you ask the universe in a way that compels it to respond swiftly, precisely, and powerfully? You ask with knowing, not with desperation, not with fear, not with begging, but with calm, confident stillness. You say, "It is done." Not, "Can I have it?" Not, "Will you give it to me someday?" You say, "It is already mine." The secret is this: the universe does not hear your words, it hears your state, it reads your being. When you ask, you must become the one who already has. You must clothe yourself in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You must sit in the silence and walk in your imagination as though what you ask for is already yours. This is not imagination for fantasy's sake. This is creation, divine creation. If you desire love, feel love now. If you desire wealth, walk as one who is already rich in mind. If you desire freedom, move in this world with the confidence of the liberated. Do not wait to see it before you believe it. Believe it, and you will surely see it. Ask the universe like this: show me what it feels like to be whole. Show me what it feels like to be chosen. Show me what it feels like to be powerful, prosperous, and overflowing with joy. And when you ask this way, with conviction, the universe will not hesitate. It is bound by law to reflect your inner world. You are not asking something outside yourself. You are awakening something within. All things exist. All realities are now. What you seek is already done. Your only task is to shift your awareness, to change the channel, to occupy the state. You do not beg the universe, you declare boldly. The moment you drop to your knees in desperate plea, you proclaim to the unseen world that you are separate from your desire. And so the law, impartial and perfect, reflects back to you more of that separation. The universe is not moved by desperation, nor does it respond to lack. It echoes your inner conviction, your state of being. Therefore, when you ask, you must not plead, you must assume. Assumption is not wishful thinking. It is not a fleeting hope. Assumption is a knowing, an inner certainty that what you have imagined is already yours. It is the spiritual posture of possession. When you declare a thing boldly, when you rise in the stillness of your own soul and say, "It is done," you are aligning with the very nature of creation. All things come to those who already have in consciousness. This is the hidden key the world has missed. People cry out in pain, asking for change, asking for signs, asking for help. Yet they do so while identifying themselves with the very absence of what they desire. They pray for love while feeling unlovable. They ask for wealth while identifying as poor. They plead for healing while wrapping themselves in the cloak of sickness. And then they wonder why the universe is silent. But hear this truth: the moment you assume the feeling of already having, the universe begins to reorganize itself to reflect that assumption. This is not magic, it is law. The law of consciousness is absolute. What you believe yourself to be inwardly, you will see reflected outwardly. The world is but a mirror, and it does not lie. It shows you what you believe, not what you want. Speak as one who has already received. When you ask, do so with authority, with a quiet confidence that does not flinch when the physical world shows the opposite. That is the test. Can you persist in the feeling of fulfillment even while the senses scream lack? Can you maintain the assumption when there is no evidence except your inner knowing? This is the difference between those who manifest quickly and those who wait endlessly. The former knows that the invisible is more real than the visible. They know that reality begins in the imagination. They know that every outer circumstance is only the shadow of a deeper inner truth. So they do not react. They do not beg. They decide. And in deciding, they align with the nature of the divine. Creation is finished. All that you could ever desire already exists, not in some distant place or future, but now, in the invisible realm of spirit. The door is imagination, and the key is assumption. Walk through boldly. Assume the state of the one who already has, and the world will conform. The moment you say, I am, you create. Say, I am prosperous. Say, I am loved. Say, I am whole. And then feel it. Not from the lips, but from the heart. You will know when it's real, because you'll feel the peace of possession. You'll stop seeking, because you've already found it within. This is how the universe works. It answers your assumption, not your voice. It delivers what you believe, not what you beg for. So ask, but ask as one who knows. Declare boldly, and do not waver. In that state of quiet confidence, all things shall be added unto you. The only true prayer is feeling, not the words you speak, not the rituals you follow, not the length of your request. It is the feeling that carries the power. You may speak the most eloquent phrases, recite sacred texts, or repeat affirmations 1,000 times. But if your inner state contradicts your words, nothing changes. The universe does not respond to your mouth, it responds to your soul, and your soul speaks in feeling. Feeling is the secret doorway to manifestation. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the internal and the external. When your feeling matches the reality you desire, you collapse the space between imagination and fact. The world around you begins to bend, shift, and rearrange to reflect the truth you hold within. This is why people can speak constantly of success and yet remain in lack. Because their inner feeling whispers doubt. They say they believe, but they feel fear. And it is the feeling, not the words, that the universe obeys. The law is impersonal, unchanging, and absolute. If you feel lack, even while saying, I am rich, you will experience more lack. If you feel unworthy, even while declaring, I am loved, you will continue to live out the echo of rejection. But if you drop every word and sink into the quiet certainty of fulfillment, if you can feel rich, whole, and loved now, you are in alignment with the end. And the end always creates the means. This is why silence is often more powerful than speech. In the silence, you can enter the stillness of your own being and ask not with your mouth, but with your heart. You close your eyes, breathe deep, and imagine the thing you desire, not as a distant hope, but as a present reality. You feel the weight of it, the warmth of it, the joy of it. And in that sacred moment, you become one with your desire. That is prayer. That is creation. Do not be fooled by appearances. Do not wait for the outer world to give you permission to feel the inner reality. It is not, I will feel successful when I have success. It is, I feel successful now, and therefore success comes. The cause is always internal. The effect follows. Train yourself to feel your prayer before it is visible. Train yourself to move past the noise of doubt and sink into the stillness of knowing. Your feeling is the signal. It is the vibration you send out into the field of infinite potential, and it always returns in form. The outer world is your mirror. It reflects not your words, but your dominant emotional state. So when you pray, do not worry about the right phrases. Do not fret over whether you are saying it correctly. Go deeper. Ask yourself, How would I feel if it were already done? And then feel it. Stay there. Live there. That is the true prayer. That is the moment creation begins. And once you have touched that feeling, hold it. Nurture it. Walk through the world not as one who is seeking, but as one who has already received. Because in truth, once you've felt it, once you've become it within, it is already yours. The outer must obey the inner. Always. Imagination is the sacred temple of creation. It is not a place of idle dreams or fleeting fantasies. It is the workshop of reality, the holy ground where the invisible becomes visible. All things begin first in the imagination. Every building, every invention, every movement, every transformation in your life was first conceived as a thought, felt as a possibility, and then shaped into form. When you understand the power of your imagination, you understand the power of creation itself. What you vividly imagine and feel as real will harden into fact. This is not a poetic suggestion, it is a law. The imagination fused with feeling becomes the architect of your world. Whatever you accept as true in your inner world, whatever you see clearly and emotionally experience as done, will move into form. It must. The outer world cannot help but reflect the inner state. Imagination is not just a private escape. It is the divine tool you were given to shape the course of your life. But most people misuse this gift. They imagine worst-case scenarios. They rehearse failure. They picture rejection, conflict, poverty, loss. And because they do so with strong emotion, those things become their experience. They think the imagination is just daydreaming, unaware that they are planting seeds that will grow into reality. You cannot imagine consistently with dread and expect joy. You cannot feel unworthy in your vision and expect to be treated with value. Your world responds not to what you want, but to what you imagine and feel as true. To use imagination rightly is to become deliberate in your vision. It is to quiet the senses and enter the state where you see and feel from the end. You do not simply see the thing you desire, you see yourself in the experience of it. You feel it as if it is happening now. You do not wish for change, you assume it has already occurred. This is the sacred act. This is true worship. To sit silently and feel the reality of your desired state. To become it inwardly, and to know that this inner transformation must find its counterpart in the world around you. You do not need to know how it will come. You do not need to manipulate the outer world. You only need to persist in the assumption of your imagined reality. Remain faithful to it. Return to it often. Let it live in you. The longer you dwell in that state, the more naturally your outer world will conform to it. The universe reorders itself around the dominant imagery of your inner being. What you accept as true within, you will live without. This is why imagination must be sacred. You must protect it from fear, from doubt, from the pollution of other people's limitations. Guard your mind as you would guard a precious temple, for within it lives the power to transform the area of your life. You are not subject to the world is subject to your inner vision. The moment you feel something real in imagination, you have already created it. It is finished. You need only walk through the bridge of incidents that will carry you there. You will be led, people will appear, opportunities will rise, doors will open, not because you chased them, but because you aligned with them inwardly. Imagination, fused with feeling, is the divine language of creation. Use it not to escape, but to design, not to wish, but to become. Stand in your mind's eye as the person you desire to be. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude of having it now. That is the sacred moment. That is creation. And the world will respond, as it always does, to the vision you have dared to believe. Your inner conversations shape your world. Every moment, whether you realize it or not, you are engaged in a silent dialogue with yourself. These thoughts are not idle. They are not private musings that vanish into nothingness. They are the seeds of your reality. The way you speak to yourself, the tone you use, the assumptions you carry within your internal dialogue, these become the blueprint for your outer experience. The world you see is the echo of what you say inwardly. Repeat it again and again. You may speak kindly to others, smile on the outside, and say all the right things in public, but if your inner conversation is one of self-doubt, fear, or unworthiness, that is what will manifest. The universe does not respond to appearances, does not hear your voice, it hears your belief. And belief is formed by repetition. Belief is carved through the steady rhythm of inner speech. The dialogue that runs through your mind day and night becomes the script your life follows. You cannot say to yourself, "I'll never succeed," and then expect to succeed. You cannot entertain thoughts of failure and then wonder why doors don't open. It is not punishment, it is reflection. The law of consciousness works perfectly. Whatever you accept and rehearse inwardly is impressed upon your subconscious and then expressed in the world. Life is always listening to what you say when no one else can hear you. This is why you must become aware. Watch the dialogue within. It is always creating. Begin to notice the tone of your self-talk. Are you encouraging or critical? Do you speak with faith or fear? Are you imagining the best or anticipating the worst? These are not harmless musings. They are creative acts. They are invitations to the universe to send you more of the same. You must become the master of your inner world, not through force but through awareness. The moment you catch yourself speaking limitation, stop. Do not scold yourself, simply revise it. If you hear yourself say, "Nothing ever works out for me," gently replace it with, "Everything is working out in my favor." Say it until it feels natural. Say it until it becomes familiar. Say it until it becomes true in your world. Your mind is pliable. It will believe what you consistently affirm. You can teach it to speak the language of victory. You can train it to repeat what is noble, powerful, and uplifting. And once your inner world changes, your outer world will follow. This is not hopeful thinking, it is spiritual law. The greatest changes in life happen not when the world shifts, but when your self-talk does. When you begin to speak to yourself as one who is worthy, loved, capable, and favored, you begin to live that truth. Opportunities arise, relationships improve, confidence grows. Not because the world suddenly got better, but because you became better inwardly. The world has no choice but to mirror your transformation. Your imagination is the stage. Your inner words are the script, and your life is the performance. Speak deliberately. Let every word you say within be one of power and truth. Do not wait for external change to speak differently. Speak differently, and the change will come. You are always creating. Even in silence, you are shaping. Choose your words well. Let your inner dialogue be the voice of the version of you that already has what you desire. Speak as the healed, the loved, the successful, the abundant. Speak with faith, with joy, with conviction. And when you do, the world will rise to meet you in that same frequency. For the outer is nothing but the projection of the inner. Change your inner conversation and you change your life. Time is an illusion. Manifestation happens now. The mind, conditioned by the senses, believes that things unfold in a linear sequence, past, present, and future. But truth lies deeper. In the realm of consciousness, all things exist now. What you call the future is not ahead of you, it is here, existing in the unseen, waiting for you to recognize it, claim it, and bring it forth into form. You do not manifest by waiting. You manifest by aligning. There is only one moment, and it is always now. When you imagine something happening and you feel the truth of it deeply within you, you collapse the illusion of time. You are not hoping for something later, you are experiencing it now in consciousness. And that now becomes the seed of the physical reality to come. If you keep projecting your desire into the future, saying someday or when, you push it away. You are telling your subconscious that it does not yet exist. But the moment you dwell in it emotionally, the moment you feel it as already done, you bring it into your present awareness, and what is felt as real will be made real. Everything is already finished. Creation is complete. You are not bringing something new into existence. You are selecting from infinite realities the one you choose to occupy. That version of you who already has the love, the wealth, the peace, the freedom. It exists now. You don't have to earn it or find it. You must identify with it. Step into it. Feel the truth of it. Live in that version of you inwardly. This is how you call it from the invisible to the visible. Most people wait to feel the joy until the thing comes. They say, when I have the money, I'll feel secure. When I have the relationship, I'll feel love. When I succeed, I'll feel worthy. But that is reversed. You must feel the security first. You must feel the love now. You must feel the worthiness before the evidence appears. This is not deception. This is alignment. This is living by the Spirit, not by the senses. The senses will always confirm what is, but imagination reveals what can be, and feeling makes it so. If time is illusion, then you must withdraw your attention from the calendar, the clock, the waiting. You must understand that the only thing separating you from your desire is your own belief that it is not here. The moment you release that belief, the moment you move into the feeling that it is here, you begin to witness bridges of events that bring it into view. Not because you chased it, but because you became one with it. This mental trick has no optimal step. Be born awake. Be bounded. Be calm. Be mindful. Let this be your practice. Sit in stillness. Close your eyes and enter the scene where your desire is fulfilled. Make it vivid. Make it rich. Hear the sounds. See the details. But above all, feel the emotion. Feel the gratitude, the relief, the joy of it being yours now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Dwell in that feeling as long as you can. That is your prayer, that is the command to the universe. You do not manifest by effort. You manifest by assumption. And assumption is a present tense act. When you believe something is yours now, your behavior changes, your vibration changes, your energy shifts. The world responds not to your words, but to your state of being. And your state of being is shaped by what you feel to be true now. To manifest your desire, you must become the version of yourself who already possesses it. You must embody the frequency of that fulfilled state. You cannot remain as the one who is waiting, doubting, hoping, and expect the reality of success, love, or abundance to come to you. You must shift into the state where you are no longer seeking it. You are living it inwardly and emotionally. This is the sacred art of alignment, not with effort, but with identity. If you desire peace, become peaceful. If you desire love, become loving. If you desire wealth, become the one who already knows what it feels like to be secure, provided for, and free. This inner shift is the true work of manifestation. When you stop chasing the thing and instead embody the state, the thing must come. It has no choice. It is law. Many believe they can fake this process, pretending on the surface, while deep inside still feeling separate from their desire. But the universe is not fooled by appearances. It does not respond to words or performance. It responds to vibration. Your emotional tone, your assumptions, your felt reality. That is why becoming is so powerful. You are not trying to get something, you are returning to the version of you where that something already exists. This version of you is not imaginary, it is real. It lives in the unseen, in the infinite field of possibility. And the more you dwell in that state, through imagination, through feeling, through repetition, the more it crystallizes into form. You do not need to push or control anything. The outer world organizes itself to reflect the change within you. It is not your effort that moves mountains. It is your being. So ask yourself, who would I be if I already had what I desire? How would I think? How would I walk? What would I feel day to day, moment to moment? That version of you is the key. Begin to step into that role as you would a well-worn coat. Let it feel natural. Let it feel familiar. Rehearse it in your mind, not once or twice, but until it becomes second nature. The more you become it, the faster the outer world confirms it. This is why some manifest quickly and others not at all. Those who receive swiftly have made no gap between who they are and what they desire. They walk in the state as if it were already true. They do not question it. They do not look for signs or ask when it will arrive. They live it now. And because they live it, they draw it in effortlessly. You are not separate from your dream. You are not lacking. You are not waiting. The moment you decide to be the one who has, life must respond in kind. Everything shifts around the one who has shifted within. That is how the unseen becomes seen. That is how desires become reality, not by hoping, but by being. Yeah. You are not here to beg the universe, you are here to remember that you are the universe in motion. Your every assumption, your every feeling, your every inner word is creating. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. You were never meant to chase your dreams. You were meant to become the version of you who already lives them. When you understand this truth, you stop reaching outward and begin turning inward. You no longer wait, you embody. You no longer plead, you declare. Your imagination becomes your sanctuary. Your feelings become your prayer. And your world becomes the mirror of your awakened state. So ask the universe not with desperation, but with conviction. Not with fear, but with fullness. Become the one who already has, and the world will bow in reflection. Because the moment you shift your being, the universe shifts with you.